Korean performing arts, a thriving tradition. How does tradition survive in the traditional arts of Korea? Through unity between the artist and his disciples, and a zeal to pass on unique skills to a new generation. Master Kim Chung-hoong's monk dance is a good example. The monk dance is typical of traditional folk dances of Korea, of a Buddhist monk, contrasted with extreme joy and ecstasy. Born in Seoul in 1909, Kim Chung-hoong, at the age of 14, entered the music department of the Yi Dynasty Royal Court and has since been a dancer. He has held many public performances, over 10 in overseas countries alone, and received the Korean Academy of Arts Award. On New Year's Day, his disciples who want to inherit his secret dancing technique pay their respects to him in the traditional manner. Kim Chung-hoong assisted in research on Korea's traditional arts and the so-called intangible cultural resources. Though the sword dance was basically a warrior's dance, the graceful and supple movement of the dancers clad in an old soldier's uniform and hat reflects the gentle, peace-loving disposition of the Korean people.
하든지 띠를 아주 바르게 해야 돼요. 그리고 또 이제 가면은 역시
The master gives detailed instructions to the dancers about their costumes.
흔들리지 않도록. 흔들리면 앞이 보이지 않으니까. 자, 옳지. 옳지. 단단히 매야 돼요. 옳지. 자, 옳지. 맞춰서 춤을 한번 춰보는데, 자,
The Choyong dance. Its history can be traced back to the era of the ancient Shilla kingdom, which was founded in the 1st century BC and lasted nearly 1,000 years. Upon returning home, Choyong finds a dragon making fun of his wife, but he treats it generously, and the dragon finally kneels down before him. This dance is among traditional court dances of Korea, handed down to the present day. The Bara dance is a Buddhist ceremony performed by monks.
자, 이렇게 간약이 있어야 돼요. 아시죠?
The sound of bara, or cymbals, is said to drive out the evils of this world and widen the sacred domain of Buddha. The Nightingale dance was first performed by the Crown Prince of Yeomyong during the reign of King Sunjo of the Yi dynasty, who ruled the country in the 19th century. Kim Chun-hung, wearing a floral crown and the yellow robe which symbolizes the color of a nightingale, danced this piece at the beginning of the 20th century before King Sunjong, the last king of the dynasty. Faithful inheritor of the Nightingale dance, also adds his unique interpretation and creative efforts to it. the shaman dance, which originated in the southern provinces of Korea. Valkyrie, meaning freeing oneself from misfortune, contains a religious prayer for driving out calamities and inviting blessing. Koreans have long regarded cranes as symbols of purity and longevity. The crane dance, therefore, became a favorite among the court rituals aimed at averting misfortune or for ordinary court festivities. For centuries, the masked dance has reflected and shared the joys and sorrows of the common people. Kim Chun-hung versions of this dance, representing various localities. The mask dance, performed by of an enlightened monk who gradually falls into the abyss of transgression when a woman allures him, is assessed as a masterpiece. Kim Chun-hung is the musical director for Confucian ceremonies. He arranges music and dances for ceremonies dedicated to deceased kings, as well as to the ancient sage Confucius himself. In such ceremonies, traditional musical instruments are used and performed as an orchestra. The mountains and waters of Korea provide a fertile environment for the creative spirit of Korean artists. In spite of historic turbulences and upheavals, the traditional culture of Korea has been passed down to posterity like an endless stream of water flowing down a mountainside. traditional culture is being preserved and developed, treasuring the old and adding new scope and meaning for today.